section on step sparring is principles of three-step sparring, and here we will go over the detail of distance, stances, stepping and counter-attacking, plus go into a little bit of the psychological elements that are involved in step sparring. I want to first go back to the diagrams that I posted earlier, which there was a lot of stick men, and I want to go over those principles. So Mrs. Wallace could form a walking stance, please, and make a middle punch. So what it means here, because everything in step sparring is based upon distance, and it's distance from the feet. Now, if you are executing a 4-fist punch correctly with the shoulder square, correct stance, we draw, what the diagram shows, is a vertical line to the toes, okay? So there to here is going to be the same, okay? Now, if we make a block from here, half side facing, to here, make some a bit longer, to there, half side facing, we have the same, because the body is now turned, and now we have the forearm bent, we then have the vertical line between here and here. So that is what those stick diagrams reference. Now if I come in here with a 4-fist punch, alright, we go into the other diagram, I then also have my foot here, and you can see that the stances are interlocked. That's what we mean by interlocking, and this is the first thing that you must check when you're doing step sparring, that when you make the blocks, your feet are not apart, the toes should interlock. So if I interlock my toes with Mrs. Wallace's toes and interlock, making a 4-fist punch from here, okay, we can see that if we maintain the correct technique and having the correct position here and the correct position here, the blocking tool of the forearm will interact and align with the forearm of my punch. And this is where you get the blocking accuracy from. So if Mrs. Wallace steps forward, she goes from outside. Because we are shoulder width wide, when I step back and she steps forward, she's going to step to the inside, to here, okay? And then she's going to step to the outside, to here, okay? In this position here. So this is a visualization of those diagrams, and that is what those diagrams mean. Okay, so these are the easy ones. If you go into, make a walking stance again, and we make a low forearm block from here, then the alignment is the tool is over the knee. If we make a rising block from here, the tool is going to be over the knee. So our alignment isn't between the toes. If we want to use a rising block in step sparring, we're going to have a situation whereby our knees are going to be in line and our heels are going to be in line if this exercise is going to be correct, and we're going to intersect at this angle here. So everything that we do is relying on the technical accuracy of our stance. So, Apcia Besiege. The distance we measure the same, because when we make Apcia Besiege, our leg is never straight. Apcia Besiege is delivered like so. So it is quite close range. When you are kicking, make the same thing. You lift and you kick straight. Don't be hoofing from the floor. Alright, for the same reason, you block, you raise and you punch. So you raise and you kick, and then you're going to land roughly the same as in when you make the abjumak. We go a little bit into the psychology of step sparring. So first of all, we make a bow. So we have a real live opponent. We charit and we kyungye. So when we bow 15 degrees and we never take our eyes off the opponent. So we've got to start thinking a little bit about indomitable spirit and a little bit about inner courage that you have to bring out when it is required in times of confrontation. So from here, after we make the bow, whichever side is designated the attacker first, we will measure okay? So we will measure one walking stance away from our opponent because we're attacking in walking stance. We're going to put our toes in line, so this is our measurement here. So now we know that if we punch, we're going to be punching right through to the centre line of the target. So then we come back from here, and now we step back in the ready position. So when the command tune B is given, tune B for 3-step sparring is walking stance and a low out of 4 forehand walk, gun and so barrel, the Junde Maki. And the ready position for the attacker, for the defender, is Narai Chumbi Sogi. Now, at this point here, this is where you have to have a little bit of realism, because during all this time, you need to be making eye contact at your opponent. Because the first part of self-defense is defense with the eyes, with intent with the eyes, and intent with the mouth, with the voice. Alright, so whether you do Hosen Sul or anything at all to do with confrontation, your first defense isn't a Pyong Juma or a Bandi Dolio Chagi. Your first defense is eye contact, so you know, so with the intent in your eyes and the tone in your voice, your opponent knows that you mean business. So if you're very shy and withdrawn, this is the first stage that you would practice this. So if you feel uncomfortable about this, this is part and parcel of step sparring. So when you are here, you make eye contact and you make a kiha, which comes from the stomach. And this is a lot of fun practicing your kiha. So from here, so this is your get away from me voice. So then you'll get a kiha in return. That means I've been given the green light to punch Mrs. Wallace in the face. And you all know how that's going to end up, okay? So that's when you would start. And my first step here would be to the outside here, okay? At that point, Mrs. Wallace is going to step back and make the block. To here, we then step forward again. Okay, on the inside, and we step forward again. So 3-step sparring gets its name because we take 3 steps. After the 3rd step, the person who is defending has to make a counter-attack. So this is the 2nd stage, or the 3rd stage of the principles of step sparring, is you're having to deal with confrontation and you have to deal with an opponent. And the technique you select goes on the principles in 1-step sparring, gain victory with a single blow. So, in your books you've got vital spots. At yellow belt, you've got strikes, thrusts and punches in your patterns. So you now, depending on where you are or where you're positioned with your opponent, you now have to select the correct target. So you pick a target and then you think, what am I going to hit them with? What is the appropriate target for that tool? Also, you have to think about the body size. Is this opponent bigger than me, same size as me, smaller than me? So then you may have to check that the distance and the angle that you attack with is going to be appropriate for the person. So, for example, what do I mean by that? Mrs. Wallace strikes me in the body. Make a punch. To there. Then if it goes to the solar plexus, there is a good chance that I may absorb that because I'm much bigger and stronger. And Mrs. Wallace is laughing, as you can tell. So she may think, right, this target for me in one attack to put me down so she can get away safely might not be appropriate. Okay? So therefore she might think about Ginjumak to here, and she might put Ginjumak to my throat. So this is a soft target. It's a highly effective target, and with somebody with lower body size, this could be the perfect target for them. She could also think about a Pyongjuma to the chin, which would also be effective. Okay? Now, that is thinking about in line. She also has the option to go to the side, to go this way. Now, if you look at here, and I draw a straight line between my front foot and my back foot, and you have an imaginary line. Take 90 degrees off that line, and if she pushes me in that position, I have got no balance in walking stance. So there's something else you have to take into consideration. If you attack from the front, you're attacking me in a very solid stance and a very solid position of balance. But if you attack me from right angles to there, my defenses are weaker and I have a better chance of losing my balance, and the opponent has a better success rate with the attack, the technique that they choose, and also in that principle I could fall down and they could escape. So all these things are what you have to start generating in your mind from 8th Cup, because everything we do in Taekwondo is about self-defense, and this gets your mind working. And whilst this is not a self-defense drill, it's a valuable exercise in demonstrating accuracy, in blocking the technique at the correct distance, reflex because it's coming at you at a given speed, and also judging distance, being able to absorb contact when you're trying to block forearms, and then you're having to think about effective vital spots and where you would strike an opponent to get away safely. Now let's focus on the curriculum. 8th Cup 3-step sparring is going to be attacking, countering and blocking with only hand techniques. There are no kicks to be used in this section for 8th Cups. But there is some terminology that I just want to remind you all of. So first of all, it's going to make a 4-fist punch. So you do, and sequence number 1 is there are 2 attacks and both are with 4-fist punch. The first attack is you must perform an outside block against a 4-fist punch. So here we have the 4-fist punch. An outside block has got nothing to do with outer forearm block. An outside block means that you block on the outside of the arm, which is the pinky side. Now we could use an outer forearm, but we could also use an inner forearm. We could use a songkal, we could use a dung songkal, sang pamok maki, pamok dewi maki, anuro maki, but they are all outside blocks. All we want is that you do the block on the outside. If it is an inside block, it means we are blocking on the inside. So we could use outer forearm, inner forearm, songkal dung, songkal, dewi maki. It doesn't matter the type of block, it has to be on the inside. Why does that make that different? Well, what makes it different is that if I block to here, then I am limited in my counters, okay? If I block to here from a self-defense perspective, I eliminate the right-hand side, or the opposite side. If I block on the inside, it allows me to enter and access all the vital spots here, but also there is a risk element because I am opening up the opposite side. So it's 2 completely different mindsets. So I want the student to accept and understand the difference between blocking on the outside and blocking on the inside. Now we're going to show you a little bit on blocking principles, and this is where there is the most mistakes in step sparring and why people can't get step sparring to work. You must deflect the block, is the prime principle of step sparring. And what we normally see when this happens, when people do step sparring, they should be attacking to the center line here, but mostly they always attack like this, or they attack like this. Alright, so if I was to stand here, this is where those punches are actually being aimed. So it is impossible to do this correctly if you do that. You must punch straight to the target, okay? Now, if you perform your patterns correctly, turning the body, turning the shoulder, then this is going to be easy. But if you don't, then you have a little bit of problems with this. And what I mean by that is, I cannot defend if I have to cross my hands in front of the chest, because if I'm facing and I do this, then it is not going to work. I cannot defend anywhere from here. So I must turn, okay? I must turn and cross the hands this way. For the same reason, when you are in Chun Chun Ji, you start here, you're facing this way, and you turn and make the block. In Dosan, you are here and you turn and make the block. Well, it is the same thing. I have to turn. Okay, and then if I'm here, I turn, I then make the block. So from this position here, I would like you to practice. This is one of the things you can do this with a noodle at home, is we go here, we turn, and we block. And that way, when I block, I defend myself and the block stays here. I do not have to do this to get the block away. You must always stop the block the same as you would, plus or minus a little bit of latitude, but you've got to stop it the same as it would appear in the pattern, because it's fundamental movements. Then from there, I would step back, and then I would block it on the other side. Then do the other hand, from here, okay, I turn to the side, and block, I turn to the side, and block. Okay. So if you do it with a noodle, you will be here. From this position, you relax, turn, and block, relax, turn, and block. So you practice this movement here. Turning first, and then returning to make the block like so. Okay? Now if you put this into practice, okay? So practicing using the numbers 1 and 2. So number 1 is halfway, number 1 is halfway turn for me. She steps forward and 2, pam. And then from here, stepping forward 1, okay, she's ready, she's halfway through the step, and 2. Ready, 1, 2. So this in itself can be an exercise. Without any countering, I come forward, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And that way you can punch to the center line and you start a little bit slowly and then you build it up and build it up and build it up. Okay, so now we go and do the whole thing. We're going to do an outside block with a counter. I take the measurement, I'll go through the whole thing. We bow, take what? I take the measurement from here, I step back, which is going to be blocking a 4-fist punch with an outside block. The outside block in this question will be an outer forearm block, because I find this will be good for building up your reflexes for blocking. So, is that it? King it. Take 1. Measure. Junior Maki. Key hat. So that is the principles of 3-step sparring.